I am Jarvis, your storyteller. Welcome to the science fiction exploration. If you like the story, please subscribe to our channel. The quantum research facility hummed with an electric intensity that seemed to pulse through its gleaming corridors. Dr. Eli Novick stood before a holographic display, his fingers dancing across translucent interfaces that flickered with complex mathematical equations and molecular simulations. Outside the reinforced windows, the Nevada desert stretched endlessly, a stark contrast to the cutting-edge technology contained within these walls. Eli wasn't your typical physicist. Where most researchers saw limitations, he saw possibilities. His current project, dubbed Adaptive Quantum Resonance, was pushing the boundaries of what most scientists believed possible. The system he was developing could potentially read and respond to environmental changes at a molecular level, creating technologies that could literally reshape themselves in real time. Dr. Novick, interrupted Dr. Mayra Rodriguez, his lead research assistant, the latest simulation results are, well, they're unprecedented. Her voice carried a mix of excitement and disbelief. The holographic display shifted, showing a complex lattice of quantum interactions that seemed to pulse and reconfigure themselves spontaneously. Little did they know that their work was about to attract attention from well beyond Earth's atmosphere. The first indication came as a subtle disruption in global communication networks. Satellite arrays began picking up unusual signal patterns, not random interference, but something deliberate and incredibly complex. Within hours, every major research institution and government facility was on high alert. The Zorian Collective made their presence known with a precision that was both impressive and unsettling. Their transmission was direct, clinical, and carried an unmistakable tone of superiority. "Inhabitants of Earth," the message began, translated instantaneously by advanced linguistic algorithms. "We are the Zorian Collective. Your technological development has reached a point of potential galactic significance. We require immediate comprehensive disclosure of your quantum research capabilities." Eli couldn't help but chuckle. The aliens had clearly expected a straightforward response, perhaps submission or terror. Instead, the human response was quintessentially unpredictable. At the United Nations emergency session, representatives from various nations presented a united front that was anything but uniform. Some advocated for complete transparency, others for strategic misdirection, and a few for outright defiance. Dr. Novick found himself unexpectedly thrust into the center of this cosmic negotiation. His research, which had seemed like a theoretical exploration just weeks ago, was now potentially humanity's most significant technological asset. The Zorian transmission continued, each message becoming increasingly demanding. They spoke of technological protocols, expected levels of scientific development, and implied consequences for noncompliance. Their communication suggested a civilization that had long ago standardized innovation, something that was anathema to human creativity. What the Zorians didn't understand was that human potential wasn't about following established protocols. It was about breaking them. Eli recognized something fundamental about the alien communication. The Zorians saw technology as a fixed system, something to be controlled and managed. Humans saw it as a living, breathing entity that could be reimagined at a moment's notice. "They want a linear explanation of our capabilities," Eli explained to the UN committee. "But human innovation doesn't work in straight lines. We don't just solve problems, we transform them." The tension was palpable. Humanity stood at a crossroads, with an alien civilization demanding precise, measurable technological accounting. But humans had never been good at fitting into predefined boxes. As global leaders debated and scientists ran emergency simulations, something was brewing in Eli's lab. The adaptive quantum resonance system was showing signs of something extraordinary, an ability to not just respond to external stimuli, but to anticipate and reshape potential technological challenges. The stage was set for a confrontation that would challenge everything the Zorian Collective understood about technological development. Humanity was about to demonstrate that true innovation wasn't about having the most advanced technology. It was about the capacity to imagine beyond current limitations. And Dr. Eli Novick was ready to show them exactly what that meant. The silence in the Global Research Command Center was deafening. Monitors flickered with data streams, each screen displaying a different aspect of the ongoing confrontation with the Zorian collective. Dr. Eli Novick stood at the center of a whirlwind of technological anticipation, his adaptive quantum resonance system now the focal point of humanity's defensive strategy. General Marcus Hallbrook, head of Global Technological Defense, paced behind Novick. "Explain it to me again," he demanded, his military precision barely masking an underlying current of anxiety. Eli turned, a holographic projection dancing between his hands. "It's not just a defensive system," he explained. "It's a living, breathing technological organism. The Zorians see technology as a fixed state. We see it as something that evolves, adapts, and transforms." The Zorian transmissions had become increasingly aggressive. Their initial request for technological disclosure had morphed into something closer to a threat. Intercepted communications revealed their growing frustration. The Zorian collective was accustomed to civilizations that followed predictable technological progressions, linear paths of development that could be cataloged, understood, and ultimately controlled. Humans were anything but predictable. In orbital observation stations, scientists watched in real time as the adaptive quantum resonance system began to do something unprecedented. The technology wasn't just responding to potential threats, it was anticipating them, creating defensive protocols that seemed to emerge from nothing. Dr. Mayra Rodriguez pulled up a series of complex algorithms. "Look at this," she whispered to Eli. "The system is generating potential solution matrices faster than our most advanced quantum computers. It's learning in real time." The Zorian response was swift and telling. Their first probing attack came in the form of a massive electromagnetic pulse designed to disable electronic systems. Most civilizations would have crumbled. Earth barely noticed. The adaptive quantum resonance system didn't just absorb the attack, it studied it. Within milliseconds, it had not only developed a complete defense, but had begun to reverse engineer the Zorian technology. "They're going to hate this," Eli muttered, a hint of a smile crossing his face. Diplomatic channels became increasingly tense. The Zorian collective demanded explanations that humanity was decidedly unwilling to provide. Each transmission carried an undertone of increasing desperation. They were confronting a technological paradigm they couldn't comprehend. General Hallbrook reviewed the initial defensive response. "They threw everything they had," he said, "and we turned it into a learning opportunity." The global scientific community watched in a mixture of terror and excitement. This wasn't just a technological confrontation. It was a fundamental clash of philosophical approaches to innovation. The Zorians saw technology as a controlled system. Humans saw it as a living, breathing entity capable of infinite reinvention. Deep within the research facility, the adaptive quantum resonance system continued its silent evolution. Each attempt by the Zorians to understand or control it only made it stronger, more adaptable, more unpredictable. Dr. Rodriguez noticed something extraordinary. "The system isn't just defending," she told Eli. "It's preparing, it's building something." "Of course it is," Eli responded, his eyes reflecting a mixture of scientific excitement and something deeper, a fundamental belief in human potential. The Zorian collective was about to learn a fundamental truth about humanity. We don't just survive challenges, we transform them. As global tensions escalated, few understood the true nature of what was happening. This wasn't just a technological confrontation. It was the beginning of something much larger, a demonstration of humanity's most extraordinary ability. The capacity to reimagine everything. The real battle was just beginning. The first signs of the impending threat came like a whisper, a subtle disruption in the fabric of spacetime that most civilizations would have missed entirely. But humanity's adaptive quantum resonance system caught it immediately. Dr. Eli Novick stood in the central monitoring chamber, his eyes fixed on a holographic display that pulsed with an ominous deep crimson. "It's not just a localized anomaly," he explained to General Marcus Hallbrook and Dr. Myra Rodriguez. "This is a systemic threat that could potentially destabilize entire star systems." The anomaly defied conventional scientific understanding. It was a quantum-level disruption that threatened to unravel the very fundamental forces holding matter together. The Zorian Collective, previously so confident in their technological superiority, now found themselves facing a challenge that exceeded their most advanced predictive models. "We need a unified response," Dr. Rodriguez murmured, her fingers dancing across multiple holographic interfaces. The adaptive quantum resonance system was already generating millions of potential scenarios, each more complex than the last. Ironically, the existential threat became a potential point of collaboration. The Zorian Collective, which had previously viewed humanity with a mixture of condescension and fear, now reached out with a desperation that bordered on vulnerability. Their transmission was different this time. No demands, no superiority, just a simple, stark plea: assistance required. Eli understood the magnitude of the moment. This wasn't just about technological superiority anymore. This was about survival, not just for humanity, but for multiple civilizations. "The anomaly is creating quantum entanglement points," he explained to the gathered scientific and military leaders. "It's like a cancer in the fabric of spacetime. Traditional methods of intervention won't work. We need something adaptive." The Zorian representatives watched in a mixture of horror and fascination as humanity began to craft a response. Where their civilization would have spent decades developing a precise, methodical approach, humans did something entirely unexpected. They improvised. The adaptive quantum resonance system began to transform. It was no longer just a defensive mechanism or a research tool. It became something else entirely: a living, breathing solution generator that could rewrite the fundamental rules of quantum interaction. Dr. Rodriguez discovered something remarkable. "The system isn't just analyzing the anomaly," she told Eli. "It's communicating with it. It's finding a way to negotiate with the fundamental forces causing the disruption." General Hallbrook, a man more accustomed to conventional warfare, found himself in uncharted territory. "Are you telling me," he asked, "that we're having a conversation with a spacetime disruption?" "Not exactly," Eli responded, a hint of a smile crossing his face. "We're redesigning it." The Zorian Collective watched in a state of near paralysis. Their most advanced predictive models had failed. Humanity was approaching the problem not as a threat to be neutralized, but as a complex system to be understood and ultimately transformed. As the quantum anomaly grew, threatening to consume entire star systems, humanity's response was nothing short of revolutionary. They weren't trying to fight the disruption. They were learning its language, understanding its fundamental nature, and preparing to rewrite its very existence. "We need the Zorians' computational support," Eli announced, "but we'll provide the creative framework." It was a pivotal moment, a demonstration that true innovation wasn't about having the most advanced technology. It was about the ability to see beyond existing limitations, to reimagine what was possible. The convergence crisis had begun, and humanity was about to show the galaxy what true adaptive potential looked like. The real battle was just beginning. The collaborative effort between humans and the Zorian Collective pushed the boundaries of what anyone thought possible. Dr. Eli Novick found himself at the epicenter of a cosmic problem-solving endeavor that defied all conventional scientific understanding. Inside the quantum stabilization chamber, a massive holographic projection displayed the anomaly, a writhing, impossible construct that seemed to exist between reality and nightmare. The adaptive quantum resonance system had evolved into something that looked less like a technology and more like a living organism. "We're not just containing the disruption," Dr. Myra Rodriguez explained to the gathered Zorian scientists. "We're communicating with it." The Zorian lead researcher, Zelnaga, struggled to comprehend the human approach. Their civilization had spent millennia developing precise, mathematically perfect solutions. Humans were doing something entirely different. They were treating the quantum anomaly like a complex puzzle to be understood, not a problem to be eliminated. General Marcus Hallbrook watched the proceedings with a mixture of scientific curiosity and military precision. "Break it down for me in simple terms," he demanded. Eli turned, his eyes reflecting the complex holographic displays. "Imagine the universe is a massive, interconnected network," he began. "Most civilizations try to cut out the bad parts. We're learning to redirect, to heal, to transform." The quantum anomaly responded in ways no one expected. As the adaptive quantum resonance system probed its boundaries, the disruption began to change. It wasn't shrinking or expanding, it was evolving. Zelnaga's translation device struggled to capture the nuance of the moment. "This is not possible," the Zorian researcher repeated, a phrase that was becoming something of a mantra when observing human innovation. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. The quantum anomaly wasn't a threat to be destroyed. It was a communication waiting to be understood. Humanity's unique approach of adaptive thinking, of seeing challenges as opportunities for transformation, began to yield remarkable results. "We're receiving information," Dr. Rodriguez announced, her voice a mixture of excitement and disbelief. "The anomaly, it's not just a disruption, it's a message." The Zorian scientists were paralyzed by the implications. Their entire technological paradigm was built on control, on precise mathematical models. Humans were demonstrating something far more fluid, an ability to dance with the unknown, to negotiate with the fundamental fabric of reality itself. General Hallbrook leaned in, his military background clashing with the abstract nature of the discovery. "A message from what?" he asked. Eli's response was both simple and profound. "From the universe itself." The adaptive quantum resonance system began to generate a complex series of interactions that looked less like a technological solution and more like a conversation. Each probe, each interaction was a question, a negotiation, a subtle reimagining of what was possible. Zelnaga watched in a state of near-existential crisis. The Zorian collective had always believed in a universe of fixed rules, of predictable patterns. Humans were showing them something else entirely, a universe of infinite potential, of constant adaptation. "We're not solving the problem," Eli explained to the stunned collective of scientists. "We're evolving with it." The quantum anomaly began to stabilize, not through force, but through understanding. It was a delicate dance of technological innovation, scientific curiosity, and a fundamentally human ability to see beyond existing limitations. As the holographic displays began to calm, showing a complex but stable quantum structure, the room fell into a stunned silence. The Zorian scientists looked at the human team with a mixture of terror and reluctant admiration. They had just witnessed something extraordinary. Not just a technological solution, but a fundamental reimagining of how to approach the unknown. The quantum insurgence was complete, and humanity had shown the galaxy that true innovation wasn't about having the most advanced technology. It was about the capacity to imagine beyond current limitations. The aftermath of the quantum convergence was unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. What began as a potentially catastrophic anomaly had transformed into a beacon of collaborative potential, with humanity at its epicenter. In the months following the crisis, the Zorian collective underwent a profound philosophical transformation. Dr. Eli Novick found himself not just a scientist, but an unexpected diplomat bridging entire civilizational paradigms. "We misunderstood everything," Zelnaga admitted during a pivotal galactic conference. The Zorian researcher's translation device carried a tone of genuine humility, a sentiment rarely expressed by their species before encountering humans. The adaptive quantum resonance system had become more than a technological marvel. It was living proof of humanity's most extraordinary capability, the ability to transform challenges into opportunities of unprecedented potential. Dr. Mayra Rodriguez stood beside Eli, presenting their findings to representatives from 17 different galactic civilizations. What we discovered, she explained, wasn't just a solution to a quantum anomaly. We discovered a new way of understanding reality itself. General Marcus Hallbrook, once a skeptic of scientific approaches beyond traditional military strategy, now found himself a passionate advocate for adaptive thinking. Humanity's strength, he told the gathered delegates, has never been about having the most advanced weapons. It's about our ability to reimagine what's possible. The quantum anomaly, once a threat of cosmic proportions, had become a research hub. Scientists from across the galaxy gathered to study how humanity had essentially negotiated with the fundamental fabric of spacetime. It was less a scientific achievement and more an philosophical revolution. Xelnaga's research team had begun implementing adaptive learning protocols inspired by human methodologies. Where the Zorian Collective once saw technology as a fixed system to be controlled, they now understood it as a living, evolving entity. "We were wrong about everything," Xelnaga repeatedly told Eli. "Your species doesn't just solve problems, you transform them." The galactic community watched in a mixture of awe and trepidation. Humanity had done something unprecedented. They had turned an existential threat into a collaborative opportunity for growth and understanding. Dr. Rodriguez discovered something even more remarkable during continued research. The quantum anomaly wasn't just a random disruption. It was a communication network, a vast interconnected system that responded to curiosity, to the very act of understanding. "It's like the universe itself is alive," she told Eli, her eyes reflecting the complex holographic displays. "And it responds to imagination." The adaptive quantum resonance system continued to evolve, becoming a bridge between civilizations. It was no longer just a human technology. It had become a galactic collaborative tool that demonstrated the power of adaptive thinking. During a final session at the Galactic Cooperative Council, Eli made a statement that would be remembered for generations. "We're not just exploring the universe, we're in a constant dialogue with it. Every challenge is an invitation to reimagine what's possible." The quantum anomaly that once threatened to destroy entire star systems now stood as a testament to human potential, a living library of collaborative innovation, a beacon of hope that showed the galaxy that true strength wasn't about dominance. It was about the capacity to understand, to adapt, to transform. Humanity had not just survived an existential threat, they had turned it into an opportunity for cosmic collaboration. And the universe was listening.